ولا يجعل منا ولا فينا شقيا ولا محروما آمين. لازلنا مع عيسى عليه السلام. Well, I think we have stopped at the point where he was about to be crucified, right? Yeah. And let me just go back to my notes.
He was asking one of his companions.
Yes. We'll go back to that part, inshallah.
You're correct.
I'm a good student.
While I'm looking for this, I have some news for you guys. Better news.
Good news, yeah.
A good news, a better news. Finally, actually, we have convinced one of the brothers to be the director of the masjid, inshallah. So, not only the shura members are going to be with us, these kind of lectures, but also the executive directors are going to be with us. We have some, we're trying actually to put an executive board in place before I leave. Serious. Akhuna brother Farid Amin is the new director of the masjid. That's why he's trying to show that he knows what's going on. He's a good student.
Is he only on Friday in July?
No, more, inshallah.
I can see him.
No, if you the position is open. You want it?
No, the point is one who has good attendance should be...
Attendance.
Yeah, attendance should be a director.
No, you said he is appointed already.
Yeah,
Now for him you are opening the position?
that's fine. So that's how we do it back home.
That's for next year.
Anyway, this is a discussion. We'll talk about it later on. But Farid is the director of the masjid from now on. And his assistant is going to be Abdullah Zulali.
That we agree.
And
And the other assistant is Atif Safi. And the youth were working on.
Where is he?
You'll see him, inshallah.
Oh,
Friday.
good luck.
Inshallah. Just تفاءلوا خيرا تجدوه. Have a good, inshallah, a positive attitude, and I will see it, inshallah.
director duties are to bring a dinner every lecture.
Oh, that's actually a good idea.
This is hard.
Qualification.
I keep it in my list.
That's a good idea. Our brother for the da'wah is Ihsan Rayhan. And so this is, and the IT is our brother Adil, yeah. And the youth, we're trying to finalize it with someone. Well, let's see if he's gonna do it. And the education, we're still actually finalizing it with someone else. So there's two positions still in the limbo.
Right
But
here.
inshallah, by this next week, inshallah, we will have it. We'll have both of them, inshallah.
Sure.
And then we'll sisters complain.
beard again.
Huh?
Get the
The
beard.
beard.
I guess.
You don't want to risk it. No, don't do it. But if some kid comes out, no.
They like it. It sounds better. It sounds closer.
Yeah, there is a lot of aerials, that's what.
Definitely new.
A lot of what?
Aerials.
Aerials. That's an engineer speaking. We came to the story where Isa alayhi salam, and subhanAllah, when I was preparing this, it's a very interesting, guys, your gadgets, put them away. Your phones, put them away. It's either put them away or get away. How's that?
Throw 'em away.
Put your gadgets away. All of you guys. Take about 45 minutes just without any distraction. 40 minutes, 30 minutes. I promise 30 minutes. How's that? No distraction. Just listen. Please. And Nabi Isa alayhi salam, it get to a point where, like I said, the Jewish community or the Jewish leadership, they felt they're threatened. And by the way, there is a good series, they're doing it on CNN. It's called Finding Jesus Christ. Facts and something like this. It's not all, you take it all, but it's a good thing to watch if you have time to watch it and just to see what the Christians say about Isa alayhi salam. This is what we say about Isa alayhi salam. It's here. At least you can see what they're saying. You will find a lot of similarities in the two stories. The major problem is actually who is Isa. That's the major problem between us and them. Who is Isa? Who is Jesus? Anyway, Jesus alayhi salam, Allah Azza wa Jalla in the Quran in one of the in Surah Al Imran, as I told you, وَمَكَرُوا وَمَكَرَ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ إذ قال الله يا عيسى إني متوفيك ورافعك إلي ومطهرك من الذين كفروا وجاعل الذين اتبعوك فوق الذين كفروا إلى يوم القيامة ثم إلي مرجعكم فأحكم بينكم فيما كنتم فيه تختلفون. This ayah is actually one of the ayat that says Allah Azza wa Jal the Jews did not kill Isa alayhi salam. Allah Azza wa Jal said, Inni rafi'uka, I will lift you up and I will purify you from these guys. Meaning from the kuffar. وَجَعِلُ الَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوكَ, and I will certainly make those who follow you prevail over those who disbelieved in you. And this is إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ ثُمَّ إِلَيَّ مَرْجِعُكُمْ, and then we'll come back to Allah Azza wa Jal, and Allah Azza wa Jal will judge between the groups. Remember, I told you last time that Isa alayhi salam, until this point, nothing. The belief is that he is the messenger of Allah. Until this point. The deviation started actually, or the deviancy started after the incident of crucifixion. And we'll talk about this in a second here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, in another surah, and this is very, very clear. Because the Yahud, they told the Roman soldiers that Isa wants the kingdom. So he's a threat to you, not just to us, it's a threat to you. And they convinced them to come and capture Isa. After that, the Jews convinced the Nasara, the Christians, those who were following Isa alayhi salam, that he is crucified and dead. Allah Azza wa Jal here is actually replying to these guys. He said, وَقَوْلِهِمْ إِنَّا قَتَلْنَا الْمَسِيحَ عِيسَى بْنَ مَرْيَمَ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ وَلَكِنْ شُبِّهَ لَهُمْ وَإِنَّ الَّذِينَ اخْتَلَفُوا فِيهِ لَفِي شَكٍّ مِّنْهُ مَا لَهُمْ بِهِ مِنْ عِلْمٍ إِلَّا اتِّبَاعَ الظَّنِّ وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ يَقِينًا. This ayah is a very clear ayah for us, to know that they did not crucify, they did not kill Isa. Translation of this ayah, وَقَوْلِهِمْ, they're saying that we have killed Jesus, the son of Mary, the messenger of Allah. وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ, they have not killed him. وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ, they have not crucified him. وَلَكِنْ شُبِّهَ لَهُمْ, but they actually did what they did to the one who resembled him. So someone resembled him. وَإِنَّ الَّذِينَ اخْتَلَفُوا فِيهِ لَفِي شَكٍّ مِّنْهِ. And those after his death, those who are difference of opinions, three groups, they are disagreeing with each other. They follow nothing but a dhann. None of them will say for certainty we have killed Isa, and for certainty that Isa is this, or Isa is this, or Isa is this. وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ يَقِينًا. And Allah Azza wa Jal, in the end of the ayah, He said, they have not killed him. They have not killed him. They have certainly not killed him. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is our.
Because it got beard.
So I should just sit still.
Try holding it or something.
Beard is angry today.
فسبحان Allah, Allah Azza wa Jal, for us as Muslim, Allah Azza wa Jal continue. بل رفعه الله إليه وكان الله عزيزا حكيما. But here Allah, but Allah lifted him up. He took him up to the heavens, so he's not dead. From this ayat, he is not dead. Isa alayhi salam. وَإِنَّ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ لَيُؤْمِنُنَّ بِهِ قَبْلَ مَوْتِهِ وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ يَكُونُ عَلَيْهِمْ شَهِيدًا. What this ayah is saying, that he is not dead, he was lifted up, and he will come back. Isa alayhi salam. That's what this ayah said. وَإِنَّ مِنَ الَّذِينَ, Allah Azza wa Jalla, إِنَّ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ, and among the people of the book, those who will believe in him. When? When he comes back. How should we know that? Because Allah Azza wa Jalla said, مِنْ قَبْلِ مَوْتِهِ, before he dies. The previous ayah says, Isa didn't die. They didn't kill him. They didn't crucify him. Then the other ayah that said that some of the people of the book, you will believe in him. When? Before he dies. What does that mean? That means he's going to come back and die as everybody else. And Ibn Kathir talks about this. وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ يَكُونُ عَلَيْهِمْ شَهِيدًا. And on the day of judgment, he will be witnessing for them or against them. But Isa alayhi salam, at the end of the world, he's not going to come as a prophet or as a messenger. He's going to come as a follower of Islam. He left this dunya as a Muslim, and he's coming back as a Muslim. He left this dunya, mean not death. He was taken up. He left this dunya as a Muslim, but as a Nabi, as a messenger. He comes back as a follower, because there is a messenger after him, who is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So this is the Quran. Let's look at the ahadith that explain these ayat. But we have to be aware and careful that there are a lot of ahadith which are weak about the story of Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam. That's why I'm not going to go into a lot of details, and there are some details like he said that, he did this, and so on and so forth. I'm going to just choose mostly what al-Bukhari and Muslim said. Actually, the summary of all of the ahadith that says Isa alayhi salam, different stories, different narrations, says that he actually invited the disciples. Who are the disciples? In the Quran, وَإِذَا قَالَ عِيسَى بْنُ مَرْيَمَ مَنْ أَنصَارِي إِلَى اللَّهِ. Allah Azza wa Jalla will talk. The disciples are the ones who committed themselves to help the cause of Allah Azza wa Jalla, or the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the disciples. These are the students of Isa alayhi salam, of Jesus alayhi salam. It says that he either invited them or went them. At the end of the day, it was a gathering of the disciples of Isa alayhi salam. He went to them. Isa alayhi salam, now he knows that the Jewish talk to the Romans. The Romans are looking for him. The police is looking for him. So he's wanted by the Romans. He's wanted, Isa. Imagine a prophet of Allah. Imagine a prophet of Allah Azza wa Jal, and he is wanted by the Romans at that time. And we're talking about here, we're talking in the area of Jerusalem. Jerusalem at that time, it was really the al-Qubba of al-Sakhra, you know, the rock of the dome. It was not a masjid as it is a masjid, but it was just a temple but that's their qibla. For the Christian, for the Jewish, that's their qibla. Even for the Muslims later on, it was our qibla until it changed in Medina when the Prophet ﷺ migrated. And he told them, that I am wanted. In some narration it says that he didn't know that what's going to happen with him, what Allah Azza wa Jal will do with him. But in other narrations that he told them that I need someone to volunteer to be my identical what?
Decoy?
Huh?
A decoy?
A decoy. Yeah, I like that. I don't think in the literature of Christianity they'll say the religious decoy. And someone that will look like him. Is that difficult?
Identical to him?
It's not. Is that difficult?
Yeah.
Huh? It is.
Resemble.
Why is it difficult?
Because you can't find two people that look the same that easily.
Okay, that's good. He's right. It's difficult. But if Allah Azza wa Jal is doing it, then it's nothing. The point here, if Allah is doing it, if Allah is saying, okay, I'm going to make Haris look like so-and-so, it's a done deal. It's be and it's going to be. So it's not difficult for Allah Azza wa Jal. It's difficult for us, it's difficult for the humans, but it's not difficult for Allah Azza wa Jal to do anything and everything. So he told them who will volunteer to basically put himself in a danger situation. He might be killed. He might be, whatever is going to happen to him, I want somebody to volunteer himself and say, I'll do it. As I told you, I think I told you last time, that it was done by the youngest among them, among the disciples. And Isa, when he saw he was the youngest, he said, no, not you. But he asked the question again, second time. Third time, it was still the young disciples. Who is that disciple? According to us, there is a lot of narrations and names, and my problem was actually not being able to translate the names. They're like Sergius, whatever, the names, I couldn't actually translate the names. But at the end of the day, that young disciple decided to say, I am volunteering, I put myself in that situation. So, he is the man. In the ahadith also it says that Allah Azza wa Jal, in the corner of that house that they were in, they saw the disciples, they saw Isa being lifted up. Have you seen those Star Treks and all these guys that are just going up? Serious. That's how it happened. In front of their eyes. They watched Isa climbing up. They don't know where. In the house, he's gone. عليه السلام خرج على أصحابه في البيت في الحواريين فخرج عليهم في عين البيت ورأسه يقطر الماء قال إنكم من يفرون. And he told them, some of you will actually disbelieve in me. Some of even you, the disciples, or one of them will disbelieve in me. In other narrations that says actually the Romans, they're looking for him. And one of the disciples led the Romans to the house and to Isa alayhi salam. When he felt that they are surrounding the house and about to kill him, then this thing happened. And Isa, at the end of the day, what matters to us today as Muslims, that Isa was gone up. That's what matters to us. How, who was crucified, that doesn't matter to us. Those details, they don't matter to us. SubhanAllah, whoever was resembling Isa, alayhi salam, exactly. They can't hear?
They want to come up. They want to come upstairs.
Yeah, that's fine. So they, actually, I think the sisters, whoever sisters have kids, they should control their kids. Their children.
I love my house.
No, bring him, but just. And they took him. They took the one who resembled to Jesus alayhi salam. So we're not talking about Isa alayhi salam. They took someone and they put that individual on the cross. They crucified him on the cross. So he was killed on the cross, which is the story that we all know. But the difference between us and the Christian is that it was not Jesus. That's the difference. That's the major difference about the cross. That's not Jesus. That's somebody who resembled Jesus alayhi salam, but Jesus was with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and somebody else was crucified. And by the way, Mary is still alive. Maryam is still alive. Maryam alayhi salam is still alive. According to our, it says that, narration that she died 5 years after Isa alayhi salam. 5 years after the ascension of Isa alayhi salam, she died. For the most of the people, that's Jesus is being crucified, and they left him on the cross for a few days. But at that point, the Christian, they actually started divided into 3 categories, major categories. One, that Jesus is God. He came in the flesh of a human. Jesus is the Son of God, and Jesus is a messenger and a prophet of God. So 3 groups. And the 3 groups, according to the narrations, these 3 groups, they call the Al-Yaqubiyun and the Jacobite and so on and so on. I don't really, the translations don't have it. But these 3 groups, one of them only is right. And that one of them, see, remember when we talked about Waraq ibn Nawfal, we talked about the other, these Waraq ibn Nawfal is still following that path of those followers of Isa alayhi salam, of Jesus, who are saying God is one and Isa is a prophet and a messenger of God. But these 3 groups, later on, the 2 groups prevailed over one group. Allah Azza wa Jal, when He talks about this, the crucifixion and all this, He said, وَمَكَرُوا وَمَكَرَ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. They plotted against Isa, Jesus, and Allah Azza wa Jal turned their plot against them, meaning that Jesus alayhi salam was saved and Allah is the best of plotters. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk about, مَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ, and so on and so forth. Isa alayhi salam, one of the narrations that says, actually, when he was put on the cross, the people around him, especially the Jewish and the Romans, they're telling, okay, you claim that you can bring the people from death, and you claim that you cure this and do this, do it now. Do it for yourself now. Take it and help yourself now. So they were mocking him. They were mocking him, and after that crucifixion incident, his followers, the true followers, they've been prosecuted and persecuted. So they can't just live in Jerusalem and say we're Christian, we're followers of Isa, and all 3 of them, not just those who are following the right path. All 3 of them, they cannot just disclose their religious identity in Jerusalem at the time, otherwise they're going to be prosecuted and persecuted. The Ammah, the regular people of the Nasara or the Christian at that time, they believed that this is Jesus, and that's what they believed, and that's the belief that it's continuing until today. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in a hadith told us about the age of Isa alayhi salam at that time, which is 33 years old. We believe, according to this hadith, that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, رُفِعَ عِيسَى وَهُوَ ابْنُ 33 سَنَةً. Isa was lifted up when he was 33 years old. In another hadith that says the people will enter paradise at the age of Isa, 33 years old. So good news for Dr. Yassini. And the beauty of, or handsomeness of Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf was very handsome, right? How handsome was he?
Fourth of everyone.
Huh?
Cannot describe.
Okay, that's a smart answer. I'm looking for another one.
Was he like
Huh?
Who's handsome?
is it a fourth?
Are you
of
kidding me? Yes. I just said he's handsome, but how?
Half of the world.
Half of the world. Half of the world. Who said that? He has half of the world of the beauty. Who had the whole beauty?
Adam.
Huh? Who's that? Adam alayhi salam. Why? What's the difference between Yusuf and Adam? Why did you say Adam?
Allah created. Allah
He's the
created.
father.
Yusuf
Huh?
is, no, Adam is the father of Yusuf.
Okay, that's a good logic. What else?
Because Allah created Adam.
Yeah, because Adam was created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. So that has to be the complete beauty of the world is Adam alayhi as-salam. This is the hadith that what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam talk about Isa alayhi as-salam. There are hadith where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam described Isa alayhi as-salam in actually being a very built, like muscular individual, very straight hair. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said when you look at the hair of Isa alayhi salam, it's as if his hair is wet. That's how nice it is. He's a white dude, so there's some brothers saying no, he's not. According to the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. To the contrary, Musa alayhi salam is not. Musa alayhi salam is kind of like a dark, not black, but a dark skin. Musa alayhi salam. Huh? But Isa alayhi salam was actually very fair skin.
Blue eyes.
Huh? Huh? I don't know about the blue eyes. I didn't check. Seriously, it was not. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not talk about his eyes, other than he has two eyes. You're laughing, eh? You know why he said he has two eyes? Because the false Messiah has one eye. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the difference between the true Messiah and Masih and the false Messiah, that the false Messiah has one eye, or one eye is
Taken out?
huh?
Taken out?
Yeah.
Not taken out. Come on, don't be that
It's like rotten with like a lot of twists.
Closed.
closed or out.
Blind. Blind.
Yeah, born like that.
I see.
Don't worry about it.
Maybe it's too high.
You guys,
Now let's go to the why did the Christian, what the value of the cross for the Christian according to us? According to us is that later on there is a king, the king of the Romans. He's called Constantinople, who is the builder of Constantine, the city Constantine. He's the builder of that city. Later on, he was approached by one of the followers of Jesus who were running away from and he told him the story, and then the king or the Roman emperor at the time embraced Christianity, and khalas. Everybody has to embrace Christianity forever. So what's the story behind the cross? The story behind the cross is that person who was crucified at that point, they actually put him down with the cross and they buried him with the cross and they made it a dump place. So they will start dumping their trash on top of his grave. It's called al-qamama or qumama in the Arabic language. So a dump place. They started dumping all of the trash on it. When the emperor actually came to Jerusalem and he asked where this happened, they told him right there. So they said, let's clean the area. They cleaned it. They cleaned that area and they took the body. They were expecting to see a body, but it was just a cross. And they built what they called Kanisatul Qiyamah. In that spot, today in Palestine, if you go, it is called the Church of Resurrection. They built it on that, they cleaned it, and they built the church on it, and they made Qubbat al-Sakhra, the rock of the dome, a dumpster. As a revenge, because Supposedly the Romans and the Jewish did that with that place, so they said we're going to do the same thing with your sacred place. Until Umar ibn al-Khattab came in, where he cleaned that area and he built the masjid of the Rock of the Dome as we see it today. So it was both with Islam both areas are clean and both areas. But the bottom line is that there is some narration that says when the cross was brought out, just the cross, they said either because Allah Azza wa Jal wanted to test the Christian at the time, or because the person who was crucified in it is a righteous individual. So if you have a problem or whatever, you come to the cross and touch the cross and your problem is solved. This is one of the narrations. And so that's how the cross became sacred for the Christian faith. Again, this is according to our sources and what we say. Isa alayhi salam, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said a very interesting hadith, especially among those who believed in Jesus alayhi salam, followed him as a prophet and a messenger. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, وَإِذَا آمَنَ, he said, وَإِذَا آمَنَ بِعِيسَى بْنِ مَرْيَمْ ثُمَّ آمَنَ بِي فَلَهُ أَجْران. He said, a person who believed truly in Isa, without any son of God and just Isa is a messenger, and then embraced Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would be rewarded twice. For us, we all believe in Isa alayhi salam. But I'm saying for the Christians themselves who believe in Isa alayhi salam as a prophet, as a messenger, and then they come to Islam, they will be actually rewarded twice. And that's what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about Isa alayhi salam. Isa alayhi salam, we know that he will come towards the end of the world, but there is another hadith in al-Bukhari to tell you the righteousness of Isa alayhi salam. So how righteous Isa alayhi salam and how loving Isa alayhi salam, Jesus, was towards his people at the time and everybody else. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عن أبي هريرة عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال رأى عيسى بن مريم, look at Isa alayhi salam, look at Jesus. رأى عيسى بن مريم رجلا يسرق. Isa ibn Maryam, Jesus, was in the market or somewhere and he saw a person stealing. He saw it with his own eyes. Okay? Oh. فقال, Isa went to him and said, أسرقت? Are you stealing? He said, no. Wallahi, I have not stolen. So the person said, Wallahi, I swear by God, I haven't stolen anything. So you know what Jesus said? He said, آمنت بالله وكذبت عيني. He said, I believe you're swearing by God and I disbelieve my own eyes. That's how Wallahi is important. Today, even the Muslims, when they want to lie, they tell you Wallah. If they want to lie to you, they'll tell you Wallahi, brother. The young kids, أقسم بالله, أقسم. There's Umar laughing. أقسم بالله. When you say Wallah, and this is very important for the young guys, if you're lying, don't say Wallah. I mean, if you're doing don't do two evil things, two bad things. One is worse than the other. Your lying is evil, then it's bad. Don't say Wallah. Say, I didn't do it. Wasn't me. Whatever. If you have to lie. But don't say Wallah. Because that's even worse than the lie itself. If you say Wallahi, then I trust you. But don't take advantage of it. Right, Umar? Don't take advantage of it. When you say Wallahi, khalas, you go. But most of the time, in the early time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, people, when they talk to each other, it's very rare that you hear somebody say, I swear by Allah. They just talk and they take it at their words at face value, and that's it, we're done. But today, actually, we're so much into that, trying to prove that we're not lying. We're talking about, Wallahi I do. Wallahi. And Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the Quran, وَلَا تَتَّخِذُوا ولا تجعلوا أيمانكم. إيش يا عمان؟ The ayah is gone. One of the ayah is that don't make your ayman, you're swearing عرضة. And don't play with it. Don't play with wallah. Don't play with swearing and so on and so forth. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In al-Bukhari, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, this is a hadith طويل, which is, I already explained it. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said something else to avoid what the Christians fell in, which is إطراء. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لا تطروني كما أطرت النصارى عيسى بن مريم. Do not, الإطراء I think is flattering someone too much. Don't flatter me too much. The same way that the Christian did with Isa. That's why when we say أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله, we say it 5 times a day and it's in kalima. You know what? One of the benefit of that kalima is that you always remind yourself as Rasulullah is just Rasulullah. He's nothing else. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله, the one worthy of worship is Allah, and Muhammad is nothing but his messenger. It's a reminder, it's a constant reminder that who is Rasulullah. If you subhanallah, it's the hikmah of Allah Azza wa Jalla that it's hikmah always will remind it. Who is Rasulullah? Who is Muhammad? Muhammad is Rasulullah. Muhammad just a Rasul, he's just a prophet, he's just a servant of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And that's how we kept it until today. Even though we have some some people who are extreme in this area, but still we need to we love Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We hold him dear to our hearts and high in the status and so on and so forth, but never put him next to Allah Azza wa Jalla. It doesn't matter. He cannot get to that level, which is Rasulullah subhanahu wa ta'ala. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم said in the hadith in the Bukhari, لم يتكلم في المهد إلا 3. 3 babies throughout the history of mankind spoke when they were babies. One of them Isa alayhi salam. Second one is Jurayj, or the ما كان من Jurayj. Jurayj is, according to the hadith, Jurayj is a very pious, righteous individual among Bani Israel. And he had built himself a monastery for ibadah. And he lived with his own mother. One day he started salat. And his mother called him while he was in salat. And during that, he kind of like debated the idea. Should I answer my mother or should I continue my prayer? Huh?
Time up now.
Should I... Should I answer my mother or should I continue the prayer? He continued the prayer. And his mother made dua on him, against him. She said, Allahumma la tumithu hatta turiyahu wujuha al-mumisat. Oh Allah, don't take him from this dunya until he be tested or he see the prostitute. Because this guy was really isolating himself. He doesn't deal with any of the outside world. He's just in the prayer, eating, drinking, that's it. And his mother was upset because he didn't answer her. She made that dua. The lesson from this, very important lesson. Sisters, do not make dua against your children. Do not. Avoid it. Even if your children drive you crazy, don't make dua against them. Do not.
What about the fathers?
I'm talking about the mothers. Fathers, forget them. But serious, the mothers, because most of the time, especially when you're the kids and you're just making messes and all this stuff, the one that you deal with most of the time is the mother. And the mother sometimes get crazy. And they said, Allah, 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 Allah. Sometimes they think when you do it in Farsi, it's not the same. Dua is dua. A mother making dua is dua. Sometimes, for us, we have that, I'm doing it in Farsi, it's okay. I'm doing it in Pashto, it's okay. It's as if Allah Azza wa Jalla doesn't understand the languages. Has to be in Arabic to be valid. Do not, because you are the first one. You will be the first one to regret an answer of such dua on your child. If you make any dua, sometimes your kids say, Allah this, Allah this, Allah this. This one, he didn't answer, this mother, he didn't answer. He said, Allah will test you with some prostitute. And subhanallah, a prostitute came to him and tempted him sexually and he refused. You know what she did? She went to someone else, get pregnant, and she went to the city and told them, I'm pregnant. Who's the father? Jurayj. And that was the dua of his mother. Jurayj is the father. Jurayj didn't even touch her. He said, no, I fear God, leave me alone. She went outside, she did whatever she had to do. She came back pregnant. And everybody in the city knows Jurayj that he is the most pious. When they heard that he is the father, that, come on, you're just hiding in your monastery and doing all these kind of things? And they actually came back to his house, they burned the house, they told him, listen, stop fooling us, basically. He said, hold on guys, wait, what's the problem? They said, you have a child out of wedlock. He said, no, it's not mine. He's not mine or she's not mine. The baby's not mine. He made wudu because he's pious. He made wudu and he went to them and he asked dua. He made dua. Now he's making dua that Allah Azza wa Jal will bring out the proof of his innocence. And the proof of his innocence was the baby himself. So Jurayj said, ask him. Like Maryam said, ask him. And they asked him, they said, who's your father? He said, so-and-so. The baby, newborn baby. They told him, we're sorry, and can we build your temple or your monastery again with gold if you want it? We'll do it. Because we can see who you are. He said, no. Just build it the way it was and that's it. So the first question, the first lesson from this is the mothers. I have said that about the mothers. How about the children? Ha ha ha. So the children talk about tonight they're going to go to their mother, the house and say, dude, did you hear that? Hear this shit. Don't say anything. I'm going to drive you crazy, but you need to be quiet. Can't do that. The same way it's wrong for her to do so, to say, invoke Allah Azza wa Jalla on you or something, dua on you. It is also haram for you to drive her crazy. How's that? Yeah. There you go. What? You can do that? You can't. It is. It is called al-uquq, uquq al-walidain. So you have to be very careful. Your mother say, sit, sit. You're your mother's puppies, so just do whatever she said. How's that? Fathers, we'll talk about them later on. Forget about the fathers. I'm one of them anyway.
Our father said no play game.
Hey, I'm not going to give you more ammunition against your kids. The father, just the mothers. So at home, the kids, they know the mother is the boss.
What happens if the fathers talk to the mothers?
Huh?
What happens if the fathers talk to the mothers to make dua?
Yeah, if he can't convince her, if she loves him that much, to make dua on her children, then you're in trouble. And just kidding. Actually, the parents are the parents and need to listen to the parents. And there is another hadith that says actually both the father and the mother, their dua is acceptable by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's both. I'm just talking about this hadith, which is talking about the mother, but there are other hadith that dua al-walidayn mustajab. The dua of the parents is answered or accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So be careful. Both sides, be careful. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, there is no prophet between me and Isa alayhi salam. Another hadith that means that Isa was the last one before Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And there is a hadith, a lot of people are talking about this hadith that Isa, Jesus alayhi salam, will come down in Damascus. Al-Manarat al-Bayda, the minaret of Al-Masjid al-Amawi, according to, but we have to be very careful with this ahadith. These ahadith are telling us what's going to happen in the future. Don't start running with this ahadith. Oh, it's happening now. Oh, this is the hadith. Oh, this is hadith. So these ahadith are for the knowledge only. They're not for you to just start projecting these ahadith on what's going on today. You can't. It says the hadith that Jesus alayhi salam will come down in Damascus. And in Damascus, he will have an army, and he is the one who will kill the false Messiah towards the end. And the hadith that says he will live in this world 40 years, another 40 years. 40. Yeah. I didn't say, I mean, 40. Not make me, 40 years. Huh? Say it again.
What do you want?
40 years staying on this earth, and he will actually be a Muslim. He will actually break, according to us, he will break the cross. He will, the Christians or those who will follow him, it's as if they're following Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Islam. There is no drinking, no pork, no all of the stuff that they are doing today. So that's those who follow him, and there will be a lot of people who will follow Jesus at that time towards the end of the world. Huh? And it says that actually he will come around the Fajr prayer. And he will come to the masjid, and the imam of that masjid will tell him, Isa, lead us in the prayer. So he will lead the prayer like we see it today, according to this hadith. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, well, he knows Quran, it's leading the prayer. So this is Isa alayhi as-salam. It says also he will make Hajj, pilgrimage, and Umrah to Mecca and Al-Madinah. And it says that he will actually die after 40 years, not killed. He will die, and he will be buried in Al-Madinah, according to some narration. Some narrations say even